Peggy has a message for you. I want to shout out all of you. You have been such great viewers, and in a way, we have become like family. Thank you for making my job easier. I will miss our time together. Stay safe and stay well. That's nice, Peggy. Thank you. We will be back tomorrow for Courtroom Insider. There's no court tomorrow, so we're going to have nothing streaming during the day. Maybe Jordan, many of you have been watching me and Jordan do our videos as we drive to and from the courthouse. And I said to Jordan, maybe we should do that once a week. Jordan and Nate go on a drive and we find a place and we try a dessert or something and we bring you with us. I don't know. That would be the most boring video ever, but we've thought about it. So Peggy, I want to shout out Nanny Joe. Thank you very much, Nanny Joe. She says, go to dinner on us, me and Jordan. We have people watching in Australia, Weber, Idaho. Where's Weber, Idaho? I don't know if I've heard of Weber. I've heard of Weezer. Sweden, Boston, where the Karen Reed trial started. If you're ready to trial hop, you can head over to that one. Coastal region of Georgia, Vermont, Northeast Scotland, Gulf Coast, Texas, and Holland. Amazing. Thank you all. Questions? I watched from North Carolina. Have you ever tallied where everyone is watching Courtroom Insider from? The data could make a fun graphic or slogan on a t-shirt. Something like 18 countries in all 50 states watch East Idaho News. I bet there's many countries and states represented. It would be fun to see how many countries you've reached. That is a great idea. Just amazing idea, but I just don't know how we would do it. That would be a lot of work. If any of you know of a digital program, it'd be cool if we had a site that you could go in and type where you're watching from, and then it lights up on a map, and then everybody could see it. I'm sure there's something like that out there. That would be awesome. Danny says, were there any texts between Lori and Charles? Yes, there were. When Charles confronted her about the affair, I don't know if they went into detail on that in this trial, though. And she wrote back and said, oh, they did a little bit. She said, they're my friends. They're not your friends. Tammy won't believe you. Leave chat alone or whatever. So there were those texts. And then there was a lot more back and forth. The witness did not read all of them, but they did discuss them, and they were given to the jury. Does the jury know that they didn't play Charles's interview because it's considered hearsay because he's not alive to testify? No, and they might not even know that. They probably don't even know that there was an earlier encounter with the police. They might now, tonight, or over the next few weeks, but they probably have no idea that the police were called months earlier, that Charles said Lori's losing her mind, that he's Ned Schneider, all that. They probably didn't know until now, and now they know, or will know. Walter and Debbie, today after the verdict, Lori stipulated to aggravation and danger in the aggravation phase. That meant there was no more witness testimony from Kay Woodcock or other family members. When Lori, one second. When Lori is sentenced, will the victims present impact statements? Great questions. Yes. Had Lori not stipulated to that, Kay would have said a few words, so would other family members. Trina said there was going to be 2 and they were going to keep it limited to what they said. However, during the sentencing, there will be a sentence portion where Kay will read what she wants to say, a victim impact statement, and there will be... Somebody's at the door. Should I get it? One moment. We'll see who's here. Hey, everybody. It's Jordan. Not a weirdo. Jordan, I don't have another chair, but come on in here. Anything you want to say to our viewers into the microphone? You're sunburned a little bit.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was outside for maybe 30 minutes or so, and I could feel the heat.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that I didn't have to spend this whole time out in the sun. So I got to be in the courthouse where it's nice and cooled, and they had great Wi-Fi.
Biggest takeaway from this trial?
That is a great question. I think for me, I'm just so happy to see justice for Charles, because throughout the whole thing we talk a lot about the kids and Tammy and everything that happened in Rexburg, and so I'm happy that we were able to see that story, get closed and get justice for Charles once and for all.
What'd you have for dinner?
There's a place called cold beer and cheeseburgers across the
Oh,
street,
yeah.
and it was like one of the best burgers I've ever had.
Someone told me about that. One of you told me to go there and try their burgers. Someone mentioned that, and I said, "Oh, that's right by my hotel."
Yeah.
And it was good.
Oh, it was great. I was shocked. Like the burger was so good,
Okay.
and the water was cold. So
The water was cold. He didn't have a beer. Okay, well, have a good sleep.
thank you. You
Okay.
too.
Jordan's going back to his room. He brought me the car keys so that I can go have dinner. Yes, so back to the question. There will be a sentencing phase, and Lori will get to argue for her sentence, and the victims will get to read statements or send letters to the judge if they want. Any idea how much this trial costs Arizona? Oh, that's a great question. What we'll do is send in a public records request and ask for the documents. It took some time in Idaho for them to compile them, and I think Idaho's trial was $3 to $4 million. It was a lot of money. How many years could the aggravating factors add to Lori's sentence? Well, it depends, but it could get her life. It could just get her life rather than 25 years, 35 years, 45 years. It could add up to life in prison. She could get the maximum without parole. And I wouldn't be surprised if the judge gives her that. To be honest with you, it's a first-degree murder conspiracy, and she stipulated to all of those things, so she didn't even try to argue them. And she didn't, I guess it will all depend on maybe what she says at sentencing. It will be interesting to hear this judge sentence too. He's a man of few words. He definitely lets the courtroom run. He doesn't interject. Some judges are very much involved in the case. Many of you were like, he keeps giving her legal counsel. He did give her a little legal counsel as things went on, gave her suggestions, but also gave her freedom and wiggle room. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see the sentence. Will she stay in Arizona, or will she be sent back to Idaho until her sentencing date? Will the jury in Brandon's trial be informed about this conviction? That's a good question. So a couple questions there. She's staying in Arizona until Brandon's trial is done and until she's sentenced here. Once she's sentenced here, she'll go back to Idaho. As far as the jury getting to know about Brandon's, the jury could potentially know about Brandon and maybe even the kids and Tammy. Well, not Tammy, because her crime happened after. Brandon was shot at the first week of October of 2019. 2 months, 3 months after Charles died. So Charles's could be brought in because that crime happened first. And if they can say that was somehow tied into Charles or to Brandon's, they can bring that in. They could also bring in the children because the children were killed in September. And if they can say that tied into that conspiracy, why was Lori in Idaho? Why were they at the storage unit, which I've shown you that footage? They could possibly pay that for the jurors. Now, it's also possible the judge says, nope, not letting that in, not letting in Idaho. It's far too prejudicial. And if that happens, then it's another case. So yeah, great question. Cindy says, I'm really upset about this. You mentioned the jurors found out yesterday about the deaths of the kids and Tammy. They shouldn't have. Did I say that? If I said that, I may have misspoke. It may have been that they found out today when they were walking out of the juror rooms. I need to go back and listen to that interview if I said that. So my apologies if I misspoke. From the interview that I played today, they said they found out after. I believe she said they found out after. It's also possible that the jurors if one of them said that, I'm not doubting them, but realize that these jurors walked out of the courthouse and they had 50 cameras in their faces and they're being fired question after question. And some of these jurors probably have never spoken to a reporter or into a microphone in their lives. And you can imagine how you might misspeak when you're in the heat of the moment. It's 100 degrees outside. So not making excuses for any of them if they said that, but I don't know all the details about that. Did the male juror out himself as knowing too much before they voted? Could there be a mistrial? I don't think so. I don't know what you mean by out himself as knowing too much before they voted. Unless that ties in with the previous question about him saying they knew about the deaths of the kids and Tammy yesterday. But I don't know if there would be a mistrial. It would take, I think if one juror says, actually I watched it all, maybe there could be, but it would probably take more than that. They probably have to call in. This is just me speculating. We should get Rachel Smith on. But they probably have to call in each of the jurors one by one and be like, did you watch? Did you know? And whatnot. Now, Lori did raise an issue about an exhibit and for appellate purposes, maybe that's what happened. Maybe that would be interesting if that happened with that. But this will be automatically appealed, by the way. So if you hear, "Oh my gosh, Lori Vallow appealed it," it's going to be appealed anyway, as most are. If money was the motive, why murder the kids? Then she'll lose the Social Security benefits for both kids. Or do you think she was planning on continuing to receive the benefits fraudulently? Good question. I think for the kids, somebody did Google the Gerber life insurance policy stuff. But no policies were ever taken out on the kids, which was interesting. And there's been some train of thought that maybe they were in such a hurry, Chad and Lori, to get the kids out of here so we can go spend our time together and live life. But then you argue that Tylee was an adult. She could have been there. So she did get the money from the Social Security. And yeah, I think she probably would have continued to cash in on it for as long as she could. She didn't report that she was married. She didn't report that Tylee was missing or dead. Same with JJ. So that could be it. Since Lori was found guilty on 4 counts of conspiracy, could she just go ahead and plead guilty to Brandon's conspiracy trial? Absolutely. She could change her plea today and say, you know what, I want to plead guilty and be done. And one of you mentioned you'll be interested to see if she decides to represent herself in this upcoming trial. I will be too. I could see her wanting to stick with it, but I think it was probably harder than she thought, and maybe she'll rely on them. I don't know though. It'll be fascinating to see. She can change her mind now. She can go back to the advisory council. They can be her attorneys, and we can see what happens there. What does all this stuff mean right before the verdict, the stipulation stuff? Brenda, hopefully we went through that with you. Basically, a stipulation is agreed, pretty much. Okay, they're going to put these witnesses on the stand. They're going to say this, this, this. Can I just stipulate and say, okay, I did it. Save us time. Save somebody on the witness stand. Save the jury hearing all of this. And that's what she did. She said, I agree to it. Who will Lori's lawyer be for the next trial? Well, it might be Lori Vallow Daybell herself. We'll have to see. And then, yeah, we'll see. Okay, I think that's it. Oh my word. We just sold 50 shirts. Are you kidding me? We're going to be busy when we get back. Thank you all very much for buying these shirts. Thank you all for watching Courtroom Insider. As I said, I'm going to be back tomorrow night, staying in Phoenix a few days. My goal tomorrow is to hit the ground and get some interviews done. I've requested several. I don't have any confirmed. So I might come back on tomorrow and say, sorry, I've got nothing. Or I might come on and have 12 hours of content. I'm hoping for the latter, although I don't know if I want to work 12 hours tomorrow, but I'll do it for you. I would do it for you. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have some interviews from some people and we can bring them to you. I can tell you I did request an interview with Trina Kay and the prosecution. They're not saying anything until the second trial is over. So we won't be hearing from them for some time. And we'll see if anybody else has any interview suggestions. If you missed anything today, the juror interviews, you want to go watch that, go to our YouTube channel. They're on there. If you want to go on and watch the stuff from the Kay and her brother Jerry, that's also on our YouTube channel. You can watch their comments. You can watch the verdict. You can watch all of that. And if you want to relive the trial because you're brand new here and somehow this popped up on your algorithm tonight and somehow I'm playing on your TV in your bedroom or your phone and you're thinking, what in the heck is this guy talking about? Well, welcome. Go get researched up and learn all about this case. And here's where else you can find me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on X, I'm on Insta, and I'm on East Idaho News YouTube. And our family has a channel on Meeting the Eatons. I told Erica that maybe her and I should do a little live video when I get home and rehash everything over there, see what her thoughts are. By the way, it's her anniversary tomorrow, 14 years. For the 3rd year in a row, I'm covering a trial, but happy anniversary, honey. I love you. I miss you. I miss the kids. I'll be home soon. Tonight, my heart goes out to Charles's family. Bless you all. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit of peace tonight. And hopefully we all are, as I can say for the 20,000 people watching right now. We're thinking of you. We're praying for you. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.